Introducing eAcademy Primary, an exciting new reading and literacy program for primary levels. The eAcademy Primary program consists of two key components: the eAcademy teaching software designed for classroom use, and the eAcademy app for students. The teaching software contains interactive multimedia lessons and activities designed for teachers to use in classrooms. These resources include starter readers and phonics, primary stories, songs, vocabulary, speaking and conversation, and grammar. Accompanying the teaching software is the companion eAcademy app. With this app, students have free access to more than 120 storybooks with progressive reading levels. With this program, you can now make reading accessible to every child. Implement a school-wide reading program. Incorporate technology in class. Develop independent reading for every child. So what are you waiting for? Download now and enjoy a free 90-day trial. Introducing eAcademy, powered by Town4Kids, a new kind of blended learning program specially designed for preschools and kindergartens. The eAcademy Kindergarten program consists of three key components: the eAcademy teaching software, with accompanied worksheets for download, and the eAcademy app for students. All key areas of a holistic kindergarten curriculum, including thematic learning, alphabet and phonics, STEAM and numeracy, music and movement, health, safety, and hygiene, social, emotional, and character development. Teachers simply pick and choose what they want to teach and run the set of activities in the program. Here is how it looks like in the classroom. So what are you waiting for? Download now and enjoy a free 90-day trial. Introducing eAcademy Primary, an exciting new reading and literacy program for primary levels. The eAcademy Primary program consists of two key components: the eAcademy teaching software designed for classroom use, and the eAcademy app for students. The teaching software contains interactive multimedia lessons and activities designed for teachers to use in classrooms. These resources include starter readers and phonics, primary stories, songs, vocabulary, speaking and conversation, and grammar. Accompanying the teaching software is the companion eAcademy app. With this app, students have free access to more than 120 storybooks with progressive reading levels. With this program, you can now make reading accessible to every child. Implement a school-wide reading program. Incorporate technology in class. Develop independent reading for every child. So what are you waiting for? Download now and enjoy a free 90-day trial. Introducing E-Academy, powered by Town for Kids. A new kind of blended learning program, specially designed for preschools and kindergartens. The E-Academy Kindergarten program consists of 3 key components. The E-Academy teaching software, with accompanied worksheets for download, and the E-Academy app for students. It covers all key areas of a holistic kindergarten curriculum, including thematic learning, alphabet and phonics, STEAM and numeracy, music and movement, health, safety and hygiene, social, emotional and character development. Teachers simply pick and choose what they want to teach and run the set of activities in the program. Here is how it looks like in the classroom. So what are you waiting for? Download now and enjoy a free 90-day trial.
All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. While we're about to start, we still encourage everybody to let us know from what country you are from, what school you are from, of course, your name also. You can still type it there. So let me introduce and do an introduction first about our workshop. So I hope everybody are able to listen, hear our audio. All right. So again, good afternoon. Welcome to our workshop about the digital tool for early learners, enhancing engagement and inclusion. It's a smart integration of technology to support every children. So again, it will be facilitated by our workshop facilitator, Mr. Alan Davis. So let me just give you a little background first, an introduction about what we're going to do today. So, workshop, I'm sorry about that. The workshop is about the digital. I wasn't able to change that. So we have Q&A and survey later on. So we'll be announcing that. So please make sure that you reply to that. And then we'll have a closing and certificate attendance for your e-certificate as well. So kindly make sure that you fill up the attendance form that will be popping out later on in our chat box. Now, for our house rules, we expect everybody to mute themselves, of course. We have an available chat box for you to use if you want to answer and participate in the activities that Alan will be conducting. And of course, if you have questions later on, you can type it there and we will respond to it accordingly. And we expect everybody to be respectful, even in the chat box. Please be respectful with our colleagues and stay engaged. And of course, we want you to have fun and stay positive. So it will be good if you will be participating in the activities that Alan has prepared for us today. So let me introduce to you our speaker for today. He's Mr. Alan Davis. He's the curriculum and consultant and trainer for Tom for Kids. He's been in the education industry for more than 25 years. He has conducted teachers training program in UAE and Thailand for the government. He has conducted 8 training sessions for around 800 teachers in Thailand, work in USA, Australia, China, Taiwan, Singapore, and all throughout the Southeast Asia. Of course, that includes all our countries that are here right now. So February 25, 2025, he conducted a workshop about whole child education, integrating holistic learning in the digital era in collaboration with the ECA in India. And on March 2025, he commenced the teachers training for the Department of Education here in the Philippines. And in July 2025, he was a speaker for another online workshop about language and communication through play, building early literacy skills in collaboration again with ECA Appear in India. So without further ado, I'm turning over now to Alan Davis.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for the kind introduction. I heard you say that I had been to every country that was represented here today, but I have never been to Pakistan. And I see there's several teachers from Pakistan. So I'd love to come. If you want to invite me, feel free. So, as she said, my name's Alan Davis. I've been teaching for about 25, actually 25 plus years, all over mostly Asia, but also in Australia and some in America and a little bit in Europe. So, today we're going to have an interactive session, as interactive as we can be online with over 100 teachers. I will be asking you some questions, and usually I'll give you a very simple way to answer, maybe with just clicking on the heart icon or clicking on answering some surveys and things like that. Our lesson today is going to be on digital tools. And I put this picture here because I really like the juxtaposition of the new modern digital age with the old fashioned, right? The classroom looks a bit old fashioned. It's even a blackboard, not a whiteboard, but then she's got the digital screen right in the middle. Not only that, but I think it shows that this class is fairly engaged. So we see the students are all very excited and raising their hands to participate. So I'll talk really briefly here about what it means to be engaged. To be engaged means the students are doing the work and they're doing the work happily. They're enjoying what they're doing, which is sometimes not true of all of our classes, right? Sometimes the students are doing the work, but they're not really enjoying it. Inclusion, on the other hand, means that all of the students are being included, right? We're supporting students that are weaker, students that are stronger. We're trying to have some kind of ground where we can get everyone involved and engaged. Let's start with a little activity, and this one's going to require you to use your phone. I want you to tell me what's the first thing that comes to mind when you hear about digital learning. What's the first word? And you can just use your phone to scan. I'm sure everyone knows how to do this. Scan, and you'll get this will come up on your phone, and you can put in one word that comes to mind when you hear digital learning. And I think I will start seeing some responses soon. So use there we go, technology. Okay, I got the first one. I'm always worried that it's not going to work. Okay, engaging. Wow, technology is a lot of you saying. Okay, interactive, innovation. Good. Engaging, media. Oops, sorry. Oh, sorry. Gadgets. Okay, good. Okay. Artificial intelligence. We're not going to talk about AI today. I almost included it and then I took it out at the last minute. Maybe next time we can talk about AI. I have strong opinions about AI. Okay, I see a lot of you chose the term interactive, and that's great because we're going to talk about how the digital technologies are interactive. And the word most of you chose is technology. I also see some teaching software, gadgets, development, media, ICT, interesting, online. We're going to touch on a lot of this as we go through today. So, by the way, we will use this tool. It's called Slido. We will use this later as well. So let's start off by playing a little game. And this is a game you could actually use in your classroom. Now, the, if you already know what this is just by looking at this picture, please don't tell everyone else if you've already used this program in your classroom. But for the rest of you, we're going to play a game where we try to guess the name of this story. And I'm going to give you some clues. And when I see the answer, then I will uncover some of the picture and see if you can guess what is the name of this story. It's a very well-known story. The first question, what is a story with a moral called? Who can tell me? What is a story with a moral called? I should play the Jeopardy. Jeopardy. Oh, wow, I already got it so fast. Juliet, you are correct. It is called a fable. A fable. Now, I'm going to uncover the first piece of the puzzle. Not much information there. I don't think you'll be able to guess the story yet. So let's do another question. What do the morals in stories teach us? What do the morals teach us? Values. Very good. Oh, Juliet, you're very fast at this. Yes. Okay. I see a lot of you coming up with values, life lessons. Yes, this is correct. I put it a different way. I said the difference between good and bad, but that's what values are, right? They're the difference between good and bad. So we're going to uncover another piece of the puzzle. Maybe you're getting an idea about what the puzzle is. Remember, we're looking for a story. The next question, this one's an easier one. This is probably the kind of question I would actually use in my classroom. What do you see in the, very good. Bonnie was number one there with the answer clouds, clouds. So we've got another answer. We're going to open it a little bit more, a little bit more. Oh, and blue sky, very good. But clouds was the word I was looking for. Okay, good. So maybe you're getting a better idea, but maybe not. Let's see what the next question is. What color are the trees? Green, very good. That was fast. Green. So here comes another piece of the puzzle. Hmm. Maybe you're getting an idea. Let's try one more piece. The next piece I think is going to, oh, okay, interesting. What does a shepherd do? That may answer your question, Boomy. What does a shepherd do? Herd sheep. Very good. I put 10 sheep. Same thing. Takes care of the sheep, herding, tend the sheep. Good. Oh, so what do you see? What do you see here? I think some of you might be getting an idea of what the story is now, but let's try another question. Good. What is the opposite of whisper? What is the shout is correct. Yell. Yep. Shout, shout. Oh, I saw the name of the story. But if the other ones haven't seen it yet, I'm going to keep going. Ah, okay. I see a few of you have got the name of the story now. Yes, very good. Very good. So we'll go ahead and finish up here then. What has sharp teeth, fur, and eats sheep? And that is, of course, a wolf. And I think all of you know what the name of the story is now, right? The boy who called wolf. The boy who cried wolf. The boy who cried wolf. So this is a nice way to introduce a story. Why? Because it builds up some suspense. The students are getting some clues about what's going to be coming up in the story, but without getting the whole story. So this is actually from the very last page of the story. You might want to start with the first page or some page in the middle, right? But it's a building a little bit of suspense, getting the students involved, and they like to guess what they're seeing. They like to try to answer the questions. And as most of you predicted, this is called The Boy Who Cried Wolf. The Boy Who Cried Wolf. So I have a question for you. Would you try something like this with your students? If yes, give me a thumbs up. If not, no, I don't think so. And if you really love it, give me a heart. So you can find the icons down at the bottom of your page. At the bottom of the Zoom page. I don't see any icons yet. Let's see what's going on. Okay, you guys are putting them in the chat. You can also just find the icon. There's a little heart at the bottom of the page where you can just click on a thumbs up, thumbs down, or heart. Maybe I haven't not permitted that yet. Okay, I got some thumbs up. I got some hearts. Oh, I don't see any icons on my meeting either. Maybe it's not working for this meeting. What do you think, Angeli? Do you see any icons at the bottom?
Mm, Yeah, I see. Which icon are you looking for, Alan?
Usually at the bottom, there's like a heart thing that you can click on or
Yeah,
but I don't
there
see
is,
it.
but I see them clicking a lot of
Yeah.
hearts right now and some thumbs up. Some put
Oh,
it in the
yeah.
chat box as well.
Oh, I don't
So
see
the
anything.
hearts
That's
is
interesting.
actually flying all over the Zoom right
Oh,
now.
really? I can't
Yep.
see a thing. That's interesting.
It
Sorry,
is,
guys.
yeah.
I'm glad to see the hearts are flying everywhere.
Hearts, yeah.
Okay, okay. I wonder why I can't see it. That's very interesting. Okay, so today we're going to talk about these things here. First of all, we're going to review the stuff we did last week. So those of you who were here last week will have a little bit of a review. For other people, maybe it's an introduction. Then we're going to look at some types of digital tools, some benefits of using the tools, and then challenges with strategies for using them. At the end, we'll look at some practical applications, which includes a couple of very short videos from teachers who are using digital, as well as I'll be walking through some of our program. By the way, I will be using the E-Academy as an example when I'm going through the practical applications. So, those of you who were here last week, 2 weeks ago actually, will probably recognize this picture. So if you were at the last training, give me a thumbs up. If you remember these 5 elements, you can give me a heart again. No, I can't even see it, so I don't know why I'm asking anymore. Angela, you can tell me if you see
Yeah.
any.
There's a lot of hearts right now. Few thumbs up, but a lot of hearts. So
That's very
that's what
interesting.
we're
I wonder why
getting.
I can't see it.
It's
So
flying
anyway,
over.
for those of you who weren't here, we have to use whole child development means to teach in a holistic way, to try to not just focus on the memorization and testing, but to appeal to students' cognitive ability, which is higher learning thinking skills, to look at their creativity, to take into account the physical aspect of their learning, as well as to help them with their social and emotional development. So these things are not exclusive from using the online. No, I said online, using tech, right? So with tech, we can focus on these 5 areas by various ways, right? For instance, with cognitive development, we can use puzzles or games like the puzzle we just did. It's very good at getting students to think about things in a different way. We can use interactive quizzes. We can use immersive stories, which is what we'll be doing today. For creative components, we can use online STEAM programs, some kind of drawing tools, which is really good if you have something like an IWB or interactive whiteboard. And also, we can encourage creativity by doing some follow-up activities to the tools that we're using in the digital components. When we think of computers or digital learning, we don't really think about physical, right? The only thing they're doing is touching, touching, touching. But we can do things like teach songs and have students dancing, or we can even have movement activities to get the students to actually move around. In addition, one of the videos I'll show you in a second shows the students are coming up to touch the computer to do something on the screen and then sitting back down. The other students are actually applauding and getting her to get the movement. And lastly, we can focus on the social emotional by encouraging role-playing videos, or sorry, role-playing in which students are acting out ways in which they can behave and interact with others. We can use videos and we can also reflect on the learning that the students are doing when they are online. So in short, digital tools offer us an immersive experience with a lot of different kinds of tools, and students are seeing, they're hearing, they're mostly important, they're doing something, they're interacting. And we don't want them to just be interacting with the screen, but interacting with their classmates in an environment that encourages development of these 5 areas. Let's do another Slido practice here. So we have the question, what digital tools are you already using in the class? So you can choose more than one if you're using 2 or 3 of them. So I'm just curious as to what people are already using in their classrooms. So again, you have to use oh, okay, you guys got it. Okay. So out of the 18 that are answering here, 19, 20, 21, and some of you are answering online on the chat room. That's also fine. Okay. Somebody's using eAcademy. That's good. YouTube. That's really interesting that nobody has said none. So everybody is using some kind of digital now, right? We really can't get around it. I find it also very interesting. I kind of expected that 100% of you are using YouTube in the classroom. Okay, I'll give you another second or two to wrap this one up. So when I'm teaching, I also use YouTube. YouTube is probably one of the best free services that we can use. I do have some recommendations if you're using YouTube, and you may have already encountered it, is to make sure you're not getting inappropriate advertising or that something inappropriate is not going to show up. I was actually using YouTube in a group once, and I had some very inappropriate content come up while I was teaching that I very quickly had to backtrack and make sure it didn't cause any damage. Okay, so YouTube, 100% of you are using it, and I think that's probably wise. Online games or music. I I really like on game. I really also like online games or music. The problem with those is that it can be in the middle of a game, your internet goes off and you lose the game, and then that's problematic. Oh, Kahoot! I should have put Kahoot here as well. Kahoot's also very good. I see somebody put that here. So online stuff is really good. Online games, online music, but it depends on your internet, whether you have strong enough internet. And I have a feeling that's why only 45% of you are saying that you're using the online games and music. Okay, tablet or phone apps. If you asked me 5 years ago whether someone should have a phone in the classroom, I would have said, yes, you must start using the phones in the classroom. Now I say, no, I don't like phones in the classroom. But if you're going to use them, make sure you are sort of policing it in a way, or that the students know exactly what they're supposed to be doing with it. Yeah, that's right, Julia. An advertisement pops up. So make sure that you're really focused when you're using the tablets or the phone apps. And I would not allow like 100% of the day to use the phone or to use the tablets. Have a system where you can bring them out and then put them away. The story-based platform. Now, so we're going to talk about the one of our story-based platforms later. So this is one of my favorites because I really love stories and I like stories where you can immerse yourself. And Steam or creative apps, we won't really talk about that too much today, but they're really nice if you can get the student to actually be doing whole class projects together or really immersing themselves in experimentation or in creating something together. If in a perfect world, we would all have these creative apps that we could create together projects, but of course not. Okay, very good. So what are our benefits for using tech? I'm sure you already are aware of the first one, which is motivation. Kids really like to use the digital stuff. So if we bring out the digital, they lean in, they get involved, they are happy. In fact, we all like to use the digital, right? That's why we're all addicted to our phones. We like the bright lights and the flashing colors and the instant gratification, the moving images. So it is very motivating for our students when we are using tech in class. Now, it depends on the tech as to how motivating it is. If you're using video just to watch another teacher talk, 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 this is not motivating, right? So it does have to be something that appeals to the students. If you're using YouTube to watch a video where someone is singing and dancing and the students can get involved, this is very motivating. The second one might be fairly obvious as well, right? Interactive lessons make things more fun. If students can actually come up and do some kind of activity where they're answering questions and getting feedback, or they're able to manipulate or move things or to create something, then this is going to make it more fun, right? This immersive environment which we talked about can really add something to the classroom. Tech can really support the language development. And in fact, these two kind of go together, the inclusive access and the language development. So we can use tech in a way where we can, if we can do things like adding subtitles on YouTube, or when we have the ability to both read and listen at the same time. And if we can even practice like that in interactive, then that makes it even better. So when we are using tech, we have the ability to introduce students to the language from a lot of different perspectives, not just writing on the chalkboard. And this makes it, of course, more inclusive because we can tap into a lot of different interests of the students. This last one is maybe I think really important, the most important is instant feedback. As the student is able to see immediately what is the correct, let's say they're doing a grammar exercise, for instance, online or in tech. They're able to immediately see that they got it wrong or they got it right. If they got it wrong, most of them will allow them a second chance, and then they can see if they got it wrong or they got it right. Now, there's research that says that we learn as much through quizzing as we do through actual just being taught. So this idea that students get to try and try and try until they get the right answer is really nice and very effective at getting our students to uh, excuse me, getting our students to develop their language skills. So instant feedback, I think, is a really useful tool. That's something you don't actually get when you're using YouTube. So that's the drawback of YouTube, the only drawback of YouTube. Okay, so let's see one more. Which of these benefits are most important to you? Which of these are most important to you? This is a ranking exercise. So let's see how we go here. Interesting. We're off to a big lead with interactive. Okay. Okay. In my chat, I'm getting all motivation. Well, we've got some fun, interactive. And in my Slido, it seems to be close between motivation and interactive. And no one's picking my favorite, which is feedback. Okay, good. Got 27 answers. Let's get it up to 30, 35, and then we'll call it a day. Okay. All of them are important, but I was interactive. Yes, good. Yeah, of course. All of these are actually good. 33, two more. 34, and one more. Okay. Okay, I'm happy with 34. Okay, so I can see, I agree with those of you who said they're all good, right? It's all of these benefits are important. All of them will help us with our teaching, and that's the main thing. And in fact, all of our classes are different. So I may have a class of different levels within the same class, and that in that instance, maybe this idea of inclusive access is more important to me than language, instant feedback or something. So it really does depend on the classroom as well. Maybe I have a very unmotivated class, so the idea of making it fun and motivational is more important to me. But yeah, I do agree. All of these benefits are important. Now, let's have a look at, just do a little example here. We have this is also from that same story, The Boy Who Cried Wolf. So I want to first look at what skills are the students using in this. What skills are the students using here? Is it reading, writing, speaking, listening, grammar, vocabulary, observation? Okay. What skills are students learning? Skills. Now, skills are different than the yeah, reading, good. Reading, yeah, definitely reading. Reading. I see lots of reading. Now, I want to point out, okay, thank you, Robert. Yeah, we have, and Colson. Yeah, we have this little thing right here, this little icon at the bottom that means the students are also listening, right? So we have the ability to read and listen along. And this is where that inclusivity comes from. Some of my students are going to do better at listening, some are going to do better at reading. And then I also have this extra support of the picture. And this is answering my second question here. How does the layout support the learning? So this is laid out in the form of a role play. So you can already see that we have the boy. This is when the boy is speaking, the shepherd. This is when the villagers are speaking. And this is when the narrator is speaking. Now, there's a lot of different ways you could approach this. You could start with the picture and get the students to report what they're saying and then read. You could start with the listening. You could do some listening and following along. So there's a lot of different ways you could actually utilize this page of the story. For me as a teacher, I will probably do a lot of reading, listening, and then I'll ask some kinds of critical thinking questions or ask them to do some creative activity. I've kind of already answered this question, but how to use it to teach the whole student. So again, with the whole student, we want students to be creative. We want them to do physical. We want them to use their brain. We want them to think about emotion. So the emotion feeling thing is tied into the story because there's a moral. So we have that moral to discuss at the end of the day. For creativity and physical, I think I can use this very easily to carry out a role play within the classroom. And that's one thing that I love about this setup is that it is really perfect to do the role play. Yeah. So once the students, we have the narrator, the boy, and the villager. So I have several roles for the students. I could put students in groups of 4 or 5 to do the role play. I could do it as a whole class, divide up the class. So I have the role play written here. Then I can carry it on even after the story. Think about a situation in your own life in which someone cried wolf or someone told stories in order to uh, gets to do something more than just they're playing pranks. Actually, there's all these prank videos on YouTube, which they actually really annoy me. But okay, that's off topic. Sorry. So lots of things you can actually do with this story to get to appeal to these 5 areas of development. While you guys are really contributing a lot, I'm not able to follow exactly, but I am reading them and it's very nice. Thank you. Storytelling is, yeah, a good idea. Okay, we have challenges for using digital. And I always hear when I'm talking about digital tools of the challenges, and actually I agree with a lot of them. So my first challenge is too much screen time. This has become something that we've been discussing very recently. We've been talking more and more about this, right? That we don't want our students to spend too much time on the screen, especially when they're alone and just staring at a screen. So some of the things we can think about are keeping digital exposure short and sweet. So 10 to 15 minutes at a time. And I'll talk a little bit more about that when we talk about the kinds of setups that we have in the classroom and the kind of room that we have in all of these, because all of these kind of tie together. But you can keep your digital exposure in the classroom to 10 to 15 minutes at a time. So maybe 10 minutes at the beginning, 15 minutes at the end. We do a song or something in the beginning, and at the end, we do some kind of grammar activity. Or you can do the story at the beginning and then do something later. Balance all of the screen time with play, physical activities, working in your textbook, working in your notebook. We don't want to just throw out all of these practices that we've been using for, hundreds of years. Make sure you're balancing the screen and the physical activities. Be very selective about what you use. And I will come back, you'll hear me say this probably another 5 or 6 times. Not every activity works for every situation. Determine when is the time to use the screen, when is the time to do something else. Passive consumption. So passive consumption is when the student is just pressing buttons and the info comes and really nothing is happening up here. It's just coming in with nothing. And this is exactly what we do not want in the classroom. This is, in my day, we had film day. That was when the teacher would come in and start a film, and we would just sit there and watch the film. And if you asked me after the class what was the film about, I would say, oh, I don't know, because it was just the time for me to just kind of zone out. So that's not what education is about, and that's not what we're encouraging with digital, right? So keep your lessons active and challenging. Challenging cognitively, challenging creatively, challenging in making it a little bit higher than where they're at so that they are growing and developing. Use a variety of techniques and tools to keep the students engaged, to keep the class inclusive as well. So even though I love singing and music, I can't do singing and music every day because there's students that don't enjoy singing and music. So I have to make sure that the students that enjoy reading and writing or the students that enjoy taking tests also have these chances. Okay. You can let students sometimes make choices about how to interact with the digital tools that you're using. This is a little bit trickier, especially if you have a class of 40 students. if you have a class of 40 students, you you don't really have the opportunity to give them choices. But otherwise, if you can offer them some choices, that's great. Whoops. Unequal access. And I think this one is really important because there are instances in which one student has access to a tablet or a phone or a computer at home, and another student may not. So we have to think about unequal access means even the ability to use it in the classroom is affected by what they have at home. So we want to make sure we're including everyone in this. So find out if there's students that don't have any access to hardware resources. So that means if you're assigning homework and the homework is to use the tablet, you need to find out if every student has a tablet, because if not every student has a tablet, then that's not an appropriate homework. Unless you have the ability to make these tools available for students after school. If you're very lucky, maybe your school will even let the students borrow the tablets or things like that. Though I think that's very, very uncommon. If you don't have access for all the students in the classroom, make sure you are providing that access. So if you only have one laptop, make sure every student is going to be able to come up and do some kind of an activity with it, or make it a big class activity so that you don't have to worry about one student is not able to actually participate. Over reliance on digital. This is actually a problem for everyone, right? Students and teachers and people in daily life. We start to rely on the digital for everything. And with AI, it becomes even more prevalent that we're using AI to do all of the tasks that we would normally do ourselves. This is true for me. This is probably true for some of you. And it's becoming more and more true for your students. I'm sure some of your students are already giving you homework that they've done on AI. Be selective. I already said this, right? Be selective in the material you choose. Don't rely on AI for every lesson. I mean, on digital tools for every lesson. Use the digital tools as a spark for the total lesson, and don't plan around the digital, plan with the digital, if that makes sense. So I want to use this digital thing today. How do I plan my lesson around it? It should be the opposite, right? I want to teach this today. How can I use my digital tool to help me teach this? Set a time limit for yourself and for your students. So in your daily life, in your lesson planning, as well as in the classroom. Because we don't want to train our students to become super reliant on the digital all the time. So it's about giving the impression as much as the action itself. We don't want students to think that they can always go to digital instead of using their brain. Technical issues. Again, I say this a lot, choose your tools wisely. Think about internet. Do I have strong internet? Can I use an online tool, or do I need something offline? Is this subject matter appropriate for what I'm teaching? Is it too complex? Is there a very strong learning curve for you or for your students? You don't want to spend all day fiddling with it, right? Instead of teaching. So get something you can use easily, you can explain easily, so that your class can move more seamless. Because what happens if you're fiddling around with trying to figure something out? Your students start acting out or doing things they're not supposed to do as well. So make sure it's not such a steep learning curve. Very, very important. Always have a plan B. Always have a plan B. I have somebody say, please explain point two. Oh, learning curve. Learning curve just means how difficult it is to learn. So if you have let's say you get this digital program and it's super complex, the learning curve is very high. Whereas if you get something that's easy to use, the learning curve is not so difficult. So we want something that it may be that one teacher can figure it out very easily, but another teacher really struggles with it. So you want something that's easy to use, basically. Thank you. So always have a plan B. Always have a plan B. Always. I can't emphasize this enough. Plan B means if I'm using an online program and there's no online, what can I do? Or if I'm using another program and it's not working, what can I do? So plan B doesn't have to be two lessons, right? It just has to be something that is always on hand for you to use. So it could be a game that is exactly a contingency plan. Could be a game, could be an activity that can be adapted to today's lesson. But I guarantee you, if you're using a digital program for a year or more, there's going to be that one day when you walk in and it's not going to work. It might be your fault, it might be your computer's fault, it might be some kind of glitch in the system, but it will happen. I had a training for 200 teachers face to face, and it was all digital, and then the internet went out. And I had nothing because that was my first time and I didn't have a plan B. So, plan B really, really, really important. Okay. And again, it doesn't have to be dual. You don't have to make two lesson plans every day. You just have to make sure you have some kind of an activity you can do. All right. Let's see. Time. Oh, I lost my. Okay. Classroom management. Make sure you have clear rules, just like a regular class. You have clear rules about how to use the computer, when to use the computer, and make sure you stick to these rules. Um, it's the same as with any tool you're using, right? You have to have some kind of routine. Some people like to blame the computer that it made my class crazy, but it's not the computer. It's that you haven't changed the rules or the routines to incorporate this new technology into the classroom. So think about what's changing and what changes do I need to make to accommodate these new tools. And that means reflecting on what's working and what's not working in your class. And you can even ask students for their opinion on it as well, right? Make it a classroom activity. How do I use these tools to make my class better? Okay. Time management is my last challenge. I'm sure you could probably think of another challenge. If you want to put one here, I'm happy to talk about it, maybe at the end. Map out your schedule ahead of the class and use a timer. So if you really want to stick to this idea of 15 minutes maximum, use a timer to remind yourself. If it means going off program and doing something physical, even though if you haven't finished, but at least it'll give you some kind of reminder that it's time to stop and move on. I would recommend using digital tools at the beginning to get the students up and moving and doing things, and then at the end, maybe to consolidate. But it's just an idea. The biggest problem with actually classroom management and time management is this transition from digital to physical. So think about how you want to handle this transition period, and it will cover most of your problems, right? So if it takes you a minute to set up the program or it takes you 2 minutes, what do you want the students to do during that 2 minute time? Whoops. What do you want to do during these transitions? It's not any different from 20 years ago when we're just using textbooks, right? The transitions are always the most difficult time and the time for when problems can occur. I see somebody where we only have 40 minutes class. Yeah, that's tough then, right? So you have to figure out you have to really use your time efficiently if you're only using 45. Today when I'm thinking about this when I'm writing up the program, I'm thinking about 50 minutes, but 40 is a bit less. Okay, I hope that addresses some of the challenges you're thinking about. We will have a Q&A at the end, and if you have some other challenges you'd like to bring up, I'd be happy to talk about them then. So here are some golden rules. Golden rules. Tech should support you, not replace you. At least for now. Let's see what happens with AI. But at the moment, tech is there to support you. Use the tech in that way, right? And that means use the tech purposely. Have a reason for using it. There are programs that are set up to be more that have the goals written in, and that is helpful as well. So when I say purposely, it means think about what you want, what kind of tool you're going to use, as well as how you're going to use it in the classroom. I already said this, but plan with a learning objective, not a device. Don't plan your lesson around the device, plan your lesson around the objective, and then bring in the devices. Include digital citizenship. By digital citizenship, I mean how to use the computer, how to act when you're on the computer. That means being polite. That means not trolling people and being rude just because you're online. Are the golden rules useful? I can't see when you hit the icon. I'm just gonna hope that we're seeing lots of thumbs up. I see a
Yes, lots of
smile on
thumbs up.
Angeli's face.
That's a lot of thumbs up. I don't know why you're not seeing it. So many thumbs up on there.
I really can't see. I'm sorry. Okay. So we have questions we should ask ourselves, and this really should be for anything, not just digital. But questions are, is this making my class more engaging? Is it better or worse without the tech? Does it meet my learning goals? Again, with or without the tech. Is it easy to understand and use? And does it offer support to weaker students? So does it have this multimodal approach, right, where you can see and hear and do? So these are some good questions we should ask before we're using any tech. What else to consider? We need to think about the conditions in which we are going to use the tech, because that actually will have an effect, right, on how you use it. So, do you have tech? Are you using tech every day? Is it a part of your permanent classroom, or is it just once a week? If it's a part of your permanent daily work, you can use these shorter blasts. If you only use it once a week, I would say use it the whole period. You only have that one day, so it's okay. Just use it the whole period. And in fact, I like this approach. I know there are some schools where they have a computer room. Once a week, you go use the computer room. So that makes it really different, right? It makes it a special day. And here we're going to go and interact with the computer. And I hope they're not all sitting in a desk in front of the computer, but if they are, that's okay too. But make it that special day. So you're using the computer all day long. If you're using it every day, you can do these short blasts or 10 to 15 minutes and coming back and forth to it. What hardware do you actually have? It's very different if you're using a PC, a tablet, or especially if you're using an interactive whiteboard or you're using a projector. In a perfect world, we would all have an IWB and the students can come up and draw pictures together and manipulate and things. But I think in the most part, people will have something that I'm seeing here. Somebody said a PC and a projector. Okay, that's great. As long as you have some way, it's better the students are not on their own device, but are actually in working in the whole class. There are some activities where they're working on their own device is good, but in general, I say for younger learners especially, it's much better to have that projector or TV where they can actually share in the learning together. Is it a classroom or a computer room? And I kind of already spoke on that, right? If you're using it in the classroom, the picture I showed at the beginning, I love the blackboard and then the PC right in the middle of the blackboard. Very nice idea. One thing I noticed in some of the pictures and videos I've been looking at is sometimes the screen is very high in the classroom. don't don't make the screen so high the students have to like look up like this because it will hurt their little necks, you know? So let's protect their necks and try to move the screen a little bit lower so we're not hurting the students physically. So keep that in mind. Do I have a very spacious, lovely classroom or do I have a very cramped classroom? I think in Asia, a lot of the classrooms, unfortunately, are the second, right? They're more cramped, so it's difficult to get students to move around. That's fine. You can still do physical activities. Yeah, I see cramped with some crying, yes. We can still do some physical activities, but the physical activities are not as much moving around, right? But we can still do activities at our desk. Um, So yeah, if you have that first room, congratulations. It's very nice. If you have the second one, which is probably the majority of us, then you have to think about the physical activities are just standing up and moving our bodies, not moving around the classroom so much. I just did a little bit of a mock-up here of what a class might look like. If you have an IWB or a projector and you have daily access, you can see that you have more option for online, offline when you have that daily access. So you may want to do an interactive story online and then you do the grammar offline, or you can do vice versa. It doesn't matter because again, you're going to have that 10-minute block of online, the 10-minute off, 15-minute on, 10-minute off. So you have more option for mixing things up. Whereas if you have a weekly access, again, I would really just do the whole day online so that you're not wasting that time that minimal time you have with the digital program. All right, I'm going to show you a very short video, just two very short videos of how people are using the material in class.
Ready? Here we go!
If the teacher who made this video is actually in here today, thank you very much. I would make one recommendation to you, which is to lower the screen a little bit. Just because when, we don't want to mess up their little necks, right? But this is a great way of using it. This is not a cramped classroom, but not super spacious either. But you can see she has them at their desks doing some physical activity, interacting with the screen. Very nice way to use the tech. Okay, let's do the next one. Whoops. A little bit different situation here.
Girls, come on, go forward. Listen. Slam. Slam. What? Catch the blend. Slam.
Okay, we're not going to watch the whole video. That one goes on for a while. Again, I'd lower the screen if I could a little bit. The nice thing here is they're learning to, yeah, this is in the Philippines. They're learning to support each other in this digital activity that they're doing. So they're participating participating to do the activity, and then they're helping each other. So we're getting a little bit of physical movement here, which is good. And we're also learning how to share, doing our sharing and empathy, as well as learning some computer citizenship. So a nice approach. I see the hand raised from Hannah. If you put the question here, maybe it was an accident. I don't know why I can see a hand raised, but I can't see the icons. But toddler writing skills. Can you ask me at the end, Hina? I'll have a Q&A at the end. If you remind me, we'll talk about it then.
Girls.
Okay, so we're going to actually do a little bit. I'm going to show you a little bit of the E Academy now. Hold on one second. I don't think I can share the app with the video with you, actually. I think I'm not allowed to, but I will share the slideshow with you, but I don't think I don't think I can bring the app, the video. Okay, give me 1 second here. Whoops. So let me ask, can you see that, Anjali? Can you see the E Academy now?
Are you trying to share the software
E,
itself?
yeah.
No, I think I'm just, can you move around your mouse?
Hold on a second. I'll just try
Yeah,
to
you
share.
can, yeah, share again. Yes, please.
Now can you see?
Good. Okay, yeah, better. Yep.
Okay. So I'm just gonna show you an example from this E Academy about how we can use things in class. Just a very brief introduction. There's lots of music here, phonics, stories, songs, vocabulary practice. A lot of it is uh really kind of traditional in a way. It's just done in a digital environment. So, and I'll show you what I mean by that in a second. So I'm going to start off by looking at the story that we just looked at because I like it.
The Boy Who Cried Wolf.
I have an option here to read by myself or to have them read to me. I'm going to read by myself. I'm not going to play the whole story, but I'm just going to give you an idea of what it sounds like.
There once lived a shepherd boy and his sheep. I'm bored. I'm very bored sitting here all day. We're happy. We're very happy eating grass all day.
So I would probably ask some questions here just to get the students to think about what they're hearing, right? So I would say, why is he bored? Oh, he's sitting here all day. Why? Who's happy? Who said they're happy? Oh, the sheep said they're happy. Why do you think they're happy? Because they have an easy life. So just to get the students to start thinking about what's going on. This one we already looked at. It's nice that there's a little bit of animation with the villagers and the wolf. Okay. I'm not going to play it, but you know the story. The villagers are angry because there's no wolf. Okay. So guess what happens? The real wolf comes along. The real wolf comes along and he calls, wolf, 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 and no one will actually come, right? And this is the picture we saw at the very beginning. So if I'm doing this with my students and I start with a puzzle like I had before, and then when I get here, you're going to hear, oh, that's the end. Okay, we know. And of course, we have a story. The moral of the story is no one believes a lie. I'm going to use this to talk about other instances in which people have lied and the lie has backfired or hurt them. And that's the end. Again, the nice thing about using a story, first of all, is that students can relate. And the more that you can help them to relate is the better, right? So I really, that's why I want to bring in the idea, when has this happened to you or how has this happened to you? Okay.
Questions for discussion.
The Boy Who Cried Wolf.
I think,
What does a shepherd do?
okay. So questions are always nice. We want to use a variety of questions. We talked about this several trainings ago. I think you can still access those if you want to see them. But here you have a variety of questions that you can use with the students. Comprehensive, empathy or social emotional, and critical thinking questions. So all of these you can use while you're reading or at the end for discussion.
Save the sheep. Jump to reach the correct answer and save the sheep from the wolf.
Okay. Oops. I killed the sheep.
The answer is
Grass.
The boy who cried wolf.
Vocabulary practice.
Word jumble. Put the parts of the word in the correct order. Hill.
Now you see,
Pair up. Present and past.
I'm just going through these very quickly and then I'll make a point when I get to the end, okay?
Click on the matching present and past tense words. Fool. Fooled. Present and right. Fool. Look and spell the ing word. Contractions. A contraction is formed when two words join together. Click the words below to see how contractions are formed. Expressive voices.
Okay. So the reason I'm showing you all of these, and I'm just going through it very quickly because I know you guys don't need to practice this stuff. You can choose to do the story in an interactive way. You can choose to do some of the grammar exercises interactive because grammar is boring, and the only way I can get my students interested in grammar is if there's pictures or something like that, right? So you can pick and choose which work for you. You don't have to go through and do all of the programs, right? And that's not just for this program, that's for any program you use. It's just like a textbook. The textbook is for you as a base to decide what you want to do. It's the same for this program. You decide which of these works for you in your classroom and which doesn't, and then you build accordingly. So you may want to have one of the corresponding songs as well, or you may want to just use the digital for the grammar, and then I'll do the story outside or something like that. So again, it all in what works for you. I'm going to show you this activity because it's my favorite. If I were doing this,
Shout.
if I were doing this with my class, I would not let them see the screen. I would only let them hear. So you can close your eyes if you want to practice. I'm going to have these people
Speak.
read this line in a variety of different
Speak.
ways. So if you don't want to see it, you can close your eyes and then try to predict what it is that the way that they're saying. Okay? Are you ready? Here we go.
No one believes a liar.
Ah, what's that? If you got your eyes closed, you can guess, right? That one was an angry person. Okay, I'm going to do one more just because I love this exercise so much.
No one believes a liar.
Okay, that one's not as clear to me, actually. That one is a shout or a cry. Let's do one more.
No one believes a liar.
This one's a little bit more clear. What was the feeling?
Bored.
What was the feeling of? Yes, very good. This one was sad. So this is one of the kinds of things you can do digitally that you're not going to be able to do outside, right? That might be really beneficial for your students. Once again, I have gone over time, which I always do. I'm going to wrap up here with a Q&A period. So if you would like to ask me a question now, I'll be very happy to answer it.
Happy.
Oops. See, I'm happy. Okay, where am I now?
Scared.
Oh, there we are. So Q&A period, and I will open up the chat room now.
Speak.
Okay, stop.
Speak.
I need to close this program. It's
Happy.
going to keep doing this. So hold on a second. Let me close. There we are. Okay, I'm ready for your questions now. We have a brief period of time left because I talked too much. Oh, here we go. I thought I would see more. Okay, I don't want to spend all the time just on the digital program. I just want to talk more about the planning and the ways we can use it. I'm sure if you would like to look at this program more, one of our either Angeli or Augustine would love to talk to you more about it, to share, even to share it with you. Oh, by the way, somebody asked me the name. It's E-Academy. It's the name that's written on the back of our Angela, you can talk about if some people are asking about the
Yep,
program.
I'm replying to some of them.
Oh, okay,
I'm
okay.
asking to what grade level, so I'm responding to some of them already.
Okay. Yeah, that the program is actually there's two programs. One is for kindergarten, one of them is for primary. I really like the program because one thing I really like about it is it does offer that variety. So it's a very flexible thing. So you really can focus on the things that make digital special, uh, such as an immersive story or an immersive song, but you can also just use it for your daily lessons to teach grammar or to teach pronunciation or phonics and things like that. I had a question
All right,
earlier
so
from
yeah,
Hina. Do you want to come back to me with that question?
yeah, she was raising her hand earlier, Miss Hina.
Hmm.
I think she's still here. So let me just share my screen, Alan. So just to let you know,
Sure,
while
sure.
waiting for participants to uh, type in their questions in the chat box. So you can still type in. If you're still thinking of what question to ask, you can still type in. So while waiting for that, okay, so we are going to have the survey form pop up right now on your screen. So we'd like to request everybody to respond on the Zoom survey for your feedback about the workshop. So, Miss Agustina, can we have that? All right. So it's already popped up on your screen. There's just about 8 questions there. So this is just going to be a workshop feedback for today's activity. And to continue, let me just inform you later on, maybe in the next 5-10 minutes, we'll be sending out the attendance form. It's a link that we will be sharing in our chat box again. And please be mindful of the schedule. The link for the attendance form is only active in the next 2 hours after we end the workshop. And please be reminded the certificates will be emailed on or before the 17th of October based on the email address that you will be filling it out. So in the attendance form as well, you have an option there to get a free trial of our program. We usually give it at 7 days only, but because you are participants of our program, you can have a trial of our program for 90 days. And you can choose between a kinder program for E-Academy or an our E-Academy program for primary or elementary students. So you have an option for that. So while you're all filling up the survey form, maybe we can have some of you type in your questions so that Alan, while he's still here, will be able to address any concerns that you have, any question, any clarification that you need pertaining to the workshop that he has facilitated. I'm okay. Let's see if we have some more. I okay. There's a question. Hope you can also have like this app for mid school. All right, we'll take consideration to that. Um, we'll take note of that. Okay, do we have any other questions regarding the workshop?
Doesn't seem like it. Maybe I will
Yeah.
give my goodbyes. I hope it's been useful and thank you so much. Have a good the rest of the weekend.
All right. Thank you so much for that, Alan. So we will be sharing now the attendance form. So kindly monitor your chat box right now. And again, the attendance form is our only information so that we'll be able to create your e-certificates. So that form link will only be open for 2 hours. And then e-certificates to be emailed on or before the 17th of October because we still need to sort the those who filled up the form. Ms. Agustina, has it already been posted? Just All right. To continue, allow us to give you more information about where you can contact us. You can screenshot right now the info. I'm sorry about that. You can screenshot the information that you have on the screen right now. For Philippines, you can contact me. My name is Anjali. This is my email address and my mobile number, which is a WhatsApp and also a Viber number. For those coming from Indonesia, India, and Pakistan, also we have schools from teachers from Pakistan and other countries, kindly contact Miss Agustina. This is her email address and her WhatsApp number. So kindly screenshot the contact information right. So, and also just to let you know, Time for Kids Singapore, through their corporate social responsibility program, we conduct storytelling, which is live via Zoom, and you can watch us also on YouTube. And we conduct teachers workshop like this one. So this is our next and upcoming activity for the month of October. So for October, we do storytelling, which is going to be scheduled on the 18th of 2025, and this is the time. It's 9 a.m. Jakarta and 10 a.m. for Philippines. So in order for you to be updated on our upcoming events, please like and follow our page. For Indonesia, India, and other countries, you can go like and follow our page, E-Academy by Town for Kids. And for Philippines, E-Academy Town for Kids Philippines. Right. So I hope everybody's sorry about that, is already filling it out. Let me just check. Okay. We'll take note of that. Need a session based education in primary section. Okay, noted on that. Okay. So please kindly continue filling out the form. Thank you so much, Teacher Nicole. My name is Anjali. I will get in touch with your school because we have already created school account for the programs that you have chosen. All right. We would like to still encourage everyone to kindly fill up the attendance form. We will be here in the next 10 minutes. There are still some asking for the link. Out of the attendance right now, only 73% have filled up the form. We're done already with the survey. We're just focusing right now for the attendance form. So kindly fill that out. Okay. The form has been sent by Miss Agustina. So she's still posting it on our chat box. Okay, I'm gonna flash again our contact information because we have attendees here who have already had their accounts created from the previous workshop attendance that they had. So just screenshot. This is my WhatsApp number. You can message me there. This is my email. This is Miss Agustina's contact information, her email address, and also her WhatsApp number. So kindly just get in touch with us if you have any question about your accounts for the e-academy program. All right. So if you're done filling up the attendance form, thank you so much for joining us. You have the permission to leave the Zoom, and we're still encouraging everybody to kindly please fill up the attendance form so that we'll be able to create your e-certificate and verify the account that you have requested. All right. The next webinar will be announcing it. As of now, we don't have any schedules yet. but we have the storytelling this coming 18th of October. So please follow, like our Facebook page so that you get to be updated. Thank you so much, Miss Nicole. Please kindly get in touch with me. I have my number on the screen right now. So we flash again the attendance form. Again, you can just save it on your browser or copy it. It will be open and in the next 2 hours. And then in the next 2 hours, we will stop the attendance form and then you won't be able to fill up. So we encourage everybody to start filling it out so that you will have your e-certificate available on or before the 17th of October. And see you everybody in our storytelling on October 18th. That's 10 a.m. for Philippines and then 9 a.m. for Jakarta. For the other country, we'll just be announcing the time which is appropriate in your time zone. So thank you so much, everyone. Please kindly screenshot our contact information so you can get in touch with us. All right. Thank you so much and enjoy your weekend. We'll flash again last time the attendance form just in case some of you have missed it out. Again, you can just copy paste and fill it out later. It will be open only after 2 hours once we end the workshop. All right. Thank you so much for those who have finished the form. You're welcome, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. We hope to see you in our upcoming webinar and storytelling to invite your students and learners in our storytelling once you get the invitation. Thanks so much.